So a little while ago, I was scrolling around on the North Polk Wikipedia page because I was bored in class and didn't know what to do. And I found something a little interesting, I guess. Here, no. I found a North Polk website in the Wayback Machine. For those unfamiliar with the Wayback Machine, it just archives old websites, and I clicked on it. And where it led me, which I thought would just be the one that we know now, led me to all the way back to 2006, where something really interesting happened. For the sake of simplicity, we're just going to click on a high school for now. What we found was really interesting, actually. I found this one day in just random study hall, and although it looks pretty boring, most of the embedded pages are a lot more fun. For instance, we have staff pages, which I think was really funny, where we have everyone who's currently working at the high school, coaches, and normal. So you can, for instance, go on to Mr. Middleton, and a student would make everything about it. Education status, picture of him, what he teaches, coaching positions, interests. And that stays pretty much the same across all of the staff main pages. We of course have Mr. Bennett, which is currently my favorite because I think his students made his page. And it's clear whoever made this page really liked it with all the text and stuff. We'll get into this later on why there's so much stuff. But for now, let's go back and check other web pages. The next thing we got here, as we scroll down, we can see all of the old events. This is circa December 28th, 2005. And you can see winter break, no school, and all that sort of stuff. And eventually, if you go down to questions, ask Bruce Bennett or student web administrator. Now, a student web administrator, from my understanding, as we're getting rerouted here, is one of the classes in the Adventures in Supercomputing. But what is weird is there's an email login, and this is where I've been stuck for a while now. If anyone can crack it, just let me know and I'll make a follow-up video to this if I ever feel like it. Yeah, so we have a name, password. I've checked all other instances and there's really nothing you can change here. After going back, there's really not much else. There's the mock trial and instrumental music pages, which really just talk about what they're currently doing, upcoming competitions, and all that sort of stuff. You get to see some old students, which is a little bit neat. But this is more or less a surface level because this is the most archived, so I feel like we should probably go deeper. Venturing now into 1997 in May, we get a better insight onto what the website was originally supposed to be, which seems to be student-led by Omar Tesdell. We'll get back to him later. Don't forget that name. Alright, first things first, let's just check the lunch menu. And now for a reading of what foods they had. Fish sandwich, pasta salad, corn, mixed fruit, and pudding. We get back to staff pages of what's really here is the student web pages, where we get to see what all of the kids in Adventures in Supercomputing actually did. They went through 7th through 12th grade, and randomly clicking on one here, boop, let's go to one, Bill Overdyke. And as you can see here, it's just like random stuff about this dude. He had his Yamaha 310 acoustic guitar, drove a 90s Dodge Shadow, and had his own email at Rocket Mail. A lot of these places actually use Rocket Mail, if not the school's own system. And then one name did come up again, which I told you to keep in mind, which is one freshman named Omar Tesdell. And when we click on his name, we get into a whole other can of worms. Yeah, we have the little final chapter here. As you can see, this original webpage is made by a guy named Omar, and he had his own webpage embedded into it. This is the one from 2000 called Omar's World, and I think it's really neat. He was a senior at North Polk, as shown here. And then if you want to know more about him, here you go. When you click on his little page, it shows that he was his family was in Iowa and then immigrated to Devon, Saudi Arabia for a little bit before moving back to Iowa. They lived out in the country near Alleman and all sorts of that. They were also on the school newspaper, which was neat. That was called the Comet Tail. That's a whole nother can of worms I'm going to get into later. In a later episode. Comet would like to see that, by the way. He was fourth trumpet in jazz band, and I thought that was pretty cool. That relates to me. Soccer fanatic. All sorts of stuff. One thing that's very common is that he really likes Macintosh computers over Windows. Which is a bit strange. If we go a little bit farther back here, we get to the more... no, that's not it. If we go farther back, we get into the more, like, early 90s style stuff with the repeating background and all that sort of stuff. Eventually, if you go to cool, the little fun thing is it's like a relic. He talks about Adidas MTV. He used to have a thing that could run Doom on here, although it didn't actually work, which I thought was pretty cool. I tried researching into Omar. He's still around. I think he is actually a web designer now. I just couldn't find much about him. Yeah, I think that'll be it. We might do a bigger deep dive later when I have more time. See you next semester, though. Peace.